Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at a completely bizarre and totally fascinating convergence. We are talking about geopolitical trade wars, edge AI, and premium carbon markets all colliding in one unexpected place: construction waste. We're tracking a profound paradigm shift where an Ontario company called 905 Wood realized that hauling physical trash was basically a dead end, so they entirely shifted their business to generating a highly lucrative digital asset instead.
We have a packed roadmap for today. We'll start with the cross-border trash crisis and the commodity trap before exploring how the data is actually the product. Then we'll look at building the Sentient Bridge, unlocking the carbon market, and finally wrap up with Ontario's circular bioeconomy leadership.
Section 1. The Cross-Border Trash Crisis, a geopolitical pressure cooker in 2026. To really understand this, we have to start with a massive impending hurdle. 50%. That number represents President Donald Trump's Section 338 tariff wall. We're looking at a 50% ad valorem duty, meaning a 50% tax on the assessed value of Canadian goods set to hit on August 19, 2026. This is actually the very first time Section 338 of the Tariff Act of 1930 has ever been weaponized to impose tariffs like this, impacting roughly $20 billion in Canadian imports. And here is the kicker for this specific industry. Standard USMCA trade certificates offer absolutely zero exemption for finished wood products. If you're shipping physical goods across that border, you are running headfirst into a brick wall.
Now, let's put the sheer scale of this vulnerability into perspective. Michigan imports almost 3.5 million tons of municipal solid waste from Ontario every single year. That's over 14% of Michigan's entire landfill volume. Just picture a daily, endless armada of heavy diesel trucks packed with garbage crossing the border. Ontario Premier Doug Ford is trying to navigate this incredibly sensitive SUSMA reality. Because think about it, if that border becomes a 50% tariff wall, where does all that waste go? It suddenly has nowhere to go.
Let's move to Section 2, the commodity trap and the vulnerability of the legacy waste model.
So the bottom line is that relying on moving a physical commodity across a volatile border is a rapidly collapsing business model. It's a ticking time bomb. On the legacy side, you have skyrocketing linear disposal costs, that massive 50% duty exposure we just talked about, and domestic landfills in Ontario that are literally facing a capacity cliff by 2034. They're running out of space. But then, you contrast that with 905 Wood's digital refinery approach. By completely rethinking the material and classifying it under the International Customs Code HS 3825.0 as characterized waste, they remain completely USMCA exempt, no tariffs. Plus, they unlock carbon dividends and bypass the traditional landfill system entirely. It's a total game changer.
Which brings us to Section 3. The data is the product. This is the massive pivot in 905 Wood's business model.
This simple concept changes absolutely everything. You might be sitting there thinking 905 Wood is a waste disposal company, but they aren't. They actually sell a verified data record. The physical wood, that is literally just the customer acquisition cost for a highly lucrative digital carbon asset. This is the big paradigm shift to the whole explainer. Their value has shifted entirely to the digital measurement, reporting, and verification, the DMRV provenance data cut. They are, for all intents and purposes, a SaaS application service that just happens to wear a dumpster company's clothes.
And when you start treating your business as a data company, everything flips. You stop worrying so much about truck logistics and you start managing software-level risks. Because if your product is data quality and you accidentally certify a contaminated load as clean, you haven't just made a mistake at the dump, you've just corrupted a customer's premium carbon credit. Your ultimate product is trust. And since this data maps to incredibly strict registry rulebooks, if those rules change, something called methodology drift, your software pipeline has to update instantly to match. That requires a level of strict software discipline that is light years away from legacy waste management.
Section 4. Building the Sentient Bridge. Or, as I like to call it, Edge AI at the dumpster. So how do you actually capture pristine data in the middle of a chaotic, muddy demolition zone? Well, the 905 Wood digital refinery workflow starts with a simple request for quote. But out at the physical site, the operator uses a Google Pixel 11 Pro running Android 17. By tapping into the Light RTI AI stack, the phone processes the visual data locally. This is called edge inference. It needs zero cloud connection, zero cell service, and in less than half a second, under 500 milliseconds, it classifies the waste and instantly mints a cryptographic, tamper-evident certificate of origin and a compliance PDF right there on the spot.
They call this the Sentient Bridge.
And it's brilliant. It's an edge infrastructure layer sitting directly between a messy, unpredictable construction site and a high-purity carbon market. Because this AI reasoning happens entirely on-device, sovereignly on Canadian silicon, it creates a localized data moat. It protects sensitive industrial data and legally classifies the wood so you can output the exact compliance documentation needed to sail right past those 50% U.S. tariffs.
Section 5. Unlocking the carbon market, moving from waste to premium carbon removal credits.
Now, you might be wondering, why is anyone paying top dollar for a PDF generated by a smartphone? Well, it's because the biocarbon market is hungry for premium carbon removal credits, but high-end registries like Puro.Earth do not buy carbon based on a handshake and a promise. To mint a premium CO2 removal certificate, or a CORC, they demand rigorous, batch-traceable, auditable feedstock provenance. Without 905 Wood's specific Edge AI data cut, a facility's feedstock is just unverified trash, and the premium credit simply cannot exist. The data is literally the admission ticket to the market.
Let's look at the financials, because this is where the pivot makes total, undeniable sense. Say you haul a 144-yard trailer of unverified mixed waste under the old legacy rules. You're getting hit with a $1,149 penalty. But run that exact same load through the Sentient Bridge, your verified rate drops to just $95.75. That is massive savings. But the real magic, the absolute kicker, is the bottom line, unlocking an estimated $2,674 in potential carbon dividend. The physical wood barely breaks even on its own. It's the verified data that actually pays the bills.
Section 6. Ontario Circular Bioeconomy Leadership and Securing Industrial Resilience. By operationalizing this digital refinery, 905 Wood is providing a critical SaaS application service that goes way beyond just helping one company. It actually secures Ontario's industrial leadership in the global circular bioeconomy. Think about what we've covered. It solves the immediate geopolitical threat by securing USMCA-exempt corridors. It helps Doug Ford avert a massive 2034 landfill capacity crisis, and it captures the premium value of the global carbon market, all while keeping Canadian AI data securely on Canadian soil.
I want to leave you with this provocative thought to wrap up our explainer today. As the rules of global trade and carbon markets continue to tighten, who truly owns this circular economy? Is it the one who hauls the most physical wood, or the one who owns the most trusted data? When borders become volatile and physical commodities get trapped, cryptographic truth might just be the most valuable asset of all. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and keep a close eye on how these digital refineries are going to continue reshaping our physical world.